I'm Kim Kesty, Creative Director at Fun Stampers Journey. Super happy to be with you here today to launch our brand new stamp of the month for March. It is called Good Places, and it is such a fun stamp set. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I'm going to share a few bonus techniques with you, so when you get your stamps in the mail, you can absolutely have the most fun with it ever. Let's take a look at this month's stamp set. It is called Good Places, like I just said, and check it out. So cute. It's got 10 stamps, which of course are high quality red rubber. They're all indexed, made in the US, of course. And this stamp set just has a lot of charm to it. It's kind of springy, reminds me of the spring season that's coming up now, but it's absolutely a set that I would use all year round. It's got the best sentiments too. Let's take a look at the sentiments. This one right here is so sweet. Some hearts understand each other in silence. Oh, isn't that just fun? I could just picture the dreamy little whoosh of the windmill. We rise up by lifting others. Perfect for the stamp set. And a super cute one to go with the darling little shoes. Good shoes take you good places. Who doesn't know that, right? So cute. And this month does have the optional die set to match. I know a lot of you love the die sets to match your stamp of the months. This would be an add-on that you can add to your kit or buy it later, you know, whenever you maybe you get the stamp first, then you decide, oh, I really want the die. So the die is an optional additional purchase if you choose to make it. So I'll set that guy aside. So what I'm going to do is just share a couple fun techniques to really kind of build the backgrounds for your stamps. The stamps themselves are so detailed and beautiful that they don't really need tons of extra embellishment for themselves as you stamp them. But let's check out this fun technique for doing a background. What I've got here is a plain panel of whipped cream cardstock, and I've got our chambray shirt splash. Now this splash, if you can see at the bottom, see it has that fun metallic in the bottom. So you can see that the main part is as a medium blue, but it's got this really nice metallic that you want to get mixed in. So I go ahead and kind of shake that around, maybe tap it a little bit with my hand, and then that metallic gets mixed in. It's like, okay, here we go. All right, there we go. So you kind of want that yumminess to come into your ink here, and that's really what's going to make this technique really shine. So again, this color is chambray shirt, and I do want to water it down a little bit because it's quite intense of a blue right now. So I'm just going to grab our medium mister that's got some water in it. I'm going to kind of hold it up so it doesn't splash too much. Spritz, spritz, spritz. So I'm putting a few spritzes of water on it. And then what I'm going to grab is one of our daubers. This is our larger dauber. It has the little foam pad on it. So I'm just going to pick this up. It holds quite a bit of liquid. I can pick up some of the extra water. And you can see that it's already kind of getting to be a lighter blue. And then when I come into my whipped cream cardstock, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm just going to start kind of creating this nice blue background. Now what you will see is that as you add color and go out to the edges, that you're going to have a variation in the blue, and that's exactly what you want. So again, use up all your, I'm not worried about covering the whole panel because I'm going to end up die cutting a square out of this. But you can kind of see already that's got a little bit of a sky look. It's got some lighter areas, some darker areas. And as this dries, which you can accelerate the drying with the heat gun if you want, but as it dries, it lightens up just a little bit. Let me go ahead and grab the one that's already dry, and you can kind of compare. So it does lighten up just a little bit. If I kind of tilt it too, then you can start seeing some of the, ooh yeah, Rory's going to get in here. You can start seeing some of that kind of pearly look that's in the splash come forward. So do you see that kind of pretty gleam? That's some of the metallic showing through. So that's what really gives this background life and dimension. I love how when when it catches the light, it gives you that little extra, like I said, amazing dimension. So I've got this really good start of my kind of dreamy sky background. I sort of picture it being kind of, hazy or humid or whatever. So I went ahead and cut a couple of my little cloud dies, which I'm actually going to use as stencils. So they're from our Cloud Dreams die set. So this is the very smallest cloud there. I went ahead and just die cut those out. I could attach them to the card, but I feel like that's really stark compared to the darker blue background. So instead of adhering them, I'm going to use them as stencils. This is our whipped cream pigment ink, It's one of our few inks that has a little bit more of the pigment in it, so it's going to take a few extra minutes to dry, but it's perfect for this technique. I've got another dauber here, a fresh dauber that I used earlier with the whipped cream ink. So I just kind of want to load a little bit more up. And the nice thing about the pigment ink is that's a little forgiving. It gives you a little bit of time to work with it. I could adhere these down with just maybe, you know, a very light temporary adhesive, but I really don't need to. I can just kind of hold them in place as I start adding this whipped cream ink. So I'm kind of using a circular motion, which again kind of reflects the blue that we already put on there. And you can go all the way around the clouds, but I mostly want to catch the top edges. Hopefully my hands aren't all in the way here. You can get the idea. I'll come down here. And again, a dabbing motion, a patting motion, a swirling motion, whatever you need to kind of get that dreaminess of the sky in there. All right, I'm going to move these two. And you can see that right away you have that really fun illusion of a cloud. I'm going to do one more sort of in the middle because I feel like everything's better in threes, right? So now I'm just going to come back on these top edges. I'm trying not to add too much ink to my one cloud there, but I can just kind of add more ink. Again, mainly on the top edges of this guy. Get a little bit on the side. And see how that pigment ink just really almost makes it look like a wispy cloud? You know, you don't want it completely solid. You just want that gentle wispiness to kind of shine through. So super fun. I love it. You haven't covered up all that blue. You've still got that gleam coming through. One thing that I did add to my card when I finished it, whew, come back, Sparkle Silk. This is our Sparkle Silk. It's kind of hard to read the label, but this is our clear silk that just has a lot of the really yummy metallic in it. So I went ahead and spritzed some on there, and that just kind of gave my background here a little extra sparkle, almost like little dewdrops or something sprinkling down. Now again, when I tip it, so there we go. You can see that really gorgeous Sparkle Silk in the background. So love, love, love that look. Let me go ahead and show you how I finished the card with the stamp set. And here it is, just super sweet. I think this card would be absolutely amazing to send to any of your friends or family in your life that maybe just need a little encouragement. And I did want to point out that because the stamp set has two different windmills, one is a complete windmill, but one is just the base along with the actual, well, you're going to have to help me out. What are these called?
The sails of the windmill.
The sails of a windmill. Oh my gosh, I actually don't even know if I knew that they were called sails. I love that. So this part is separate. So what we did here is we stamped it and then we put one of our little brads. And I will give you a little peek on how we got this to rotate. We just went ahead and adhered the brad onto a foam square. So you know when you flange out the back of the brad, that'll just stick on that foam square, but it'll still allow your die cut on the top to spin, because who doesn't want a windmill that doesn't also spin? So I love that it's got that fun little interactive part. But again, great background, just kind of a dreamy, calm, quiet sky back there. And again, that sentiment that we love, we rise up by lifting others. So super sweet, love that one. Okay, let me set that one aside. Oh, I did want to show you that we cut the square out there with just our traditional nesting square here with a piercing element. So that's why we didn't have to worry so much about that panel when we were inking it. Okay, so another fun background technique that I did for the next card was using our cement tile stencil. Now this is our cement tile stencil. This is my one that I use all the time, and here it is in the actual packaging, so you can kind of take a peek at the item number if you care to jot it down if you're interested. This is a great stencil, and it's fabulous to use in the way it was intended, which is, you know, putting it on paper and then adding ink on top. But for this particular card, we did something a little bit different. I went ahead and grabbed a piece of Blue Lagoon cardstock, and I already did this earlier, so I don't have to run it through the machine now, but you can kind of, yeah, tilt it to the light so you can see that I actually embossed the stencil onto this cardstock. So I wanted to share the sandwich with you. What I went ahead and did is I took our bottom platform for our machine. Actually, I've got one right here. Let me grab it. This is our Platinum 6 platform. Now you won't need either of the cutting plates, so I set those aside. So the sandwich I did was I took our platform right here and I put the cardstock down. And I actually put it upside down. Does that make sense? I put the cardstock first and then the stencil. So I guess I better lay it down properly so you guys can repeat this because I think you're going to want to. So cardstock down, stencil next, and then I put the rubber embossing mat, so that goes on top. And then I put our green embossing plate, which it does say embossing plate on it, so that's a good one. And we usually emboss dies with this, but in this case I'm embossing the stencil. So then I run it through the machine, take it all apart, and voila, it's got this really cute stencil pattern. Now it is a little bit hard to see, so I did realize that after I stenciled this. I think it shows up a little bit better on lighter colors of cardstock, but I thought I know how to solve that problem. I went ahead and grabbed our Blue Lagoon ink, which is of course the matching ink to this cardstock. And then I just went ahead and did a really nice direct to ink, directly laying the ink on the cardstock. And I'm taking care to kind of swipe it exactly the same direction, meaning it's in a vertical direction all across the stencil, because not only do I love how it ends up looking, and it will dry a little bit lighter, but even the little swipes that go on the side, I think it really kind of added even just a little wood grain type of a look. So I don't mind that it has those, I guess you could call them streaks on the back. But look how that stencil pops now just by adding that ink, and that is such a simple technique. It's just one that anybody can master right away. Absolutely love it. So let me show you the finished card. Turned out so cute, and I love the color palette. We've got just this really fun pinks on popping out in the heart and a little bit of our candy apple ink. So isn't that sweet? So you can see that the ink dries just a little bit lighter than it does on that one I just showed you. So love it. And again, that sentiment. Killer. Absolutely love it. Awesome. So I do want to share a couple more cards with you before I let you go. I promised myself I wouldn't have this video quite as long as some of them, but I just can't help it. I love sharing all the techniques with you. So let's take a look at a few more cards. This one I just love. I think it's so pretty. We used one of our dies for the bottom just to do a little bit of paper piecing, but again, the bright colors, so sweet. Love that windmill. This one's very fun and unique. So this has kind of a smushed ink background with our peaches and cream and our cool pool. But if you can kind of get in closer, yeah, I think you can see that we've taken our heart stencil here, another one of our stencils, and added some modeling paste to it. So I just love the dimension on that one. So it's got several layers. It just adds so much interest to the card. And again, that really sweet sentiment. So thought that was really fun. Another fun way to use this stencil. And here's one more that I just love, I think because of the color palette and the texture. I haven't used this corrugated stock for a while, and I was so happy to bring it into this card. Again, just adds some great texture. Got to have the little tulip in there, right? So much fun. Okay, and the last one is actually not a card project, but it's a 3D project, but I just couldn't wait to share. Actually, one of our designers, Mariana, made this, and I thought it was so clever. She's taken one of our little passport books. It's clipped closed, but when you open it, besides the darling stamping and the fun little embellishments she has on here, it actually has more to it. So when you open up, the passport book does have this little slot, so she's added a couple little tags. And look how sweet. She's added one of the windmills to the pages. Now this is one that she just created. The passport book does not come with these pages, but she's just taken a simple book binding technique and just used some of our twine. And again, pierced a couple holes in the passport. I'm like showing it upside down. And then just threaded it through. So very simple. It's got just about 10 pages in it. Super cute. And then of course the back has some little stamped images too. So cute. So what a great little, travel book you could take with you, add your little notes, have it as a little memory to keep from any kind of a little trip or even just a little weekend jaunt or whatever. So cute. Okay, so many fun ways to use the stamp set. We have all these cute cards and projects, and there are so many more when we go ahead and load all of the images into the gallery, and you will see them on a special video that Roy is creating, and they'll be popping up on the blog at funstampersjourney.com. Just no end to the oodles of inspiration that we share with you, in hopes that you will fall in love with this stamp set as much as I have. So again, enjoy your March Stamp of the Month club set, and we hope that you enjoy bringing paper to life.